How to start dating. Hi guys, this is Rika Lasson, the dating coach of Cairo Dating, and today I will discuss how to start dating. If you want to know how to start dating, you've come to one of the best videos online. Since I know that many singles looking to start dating want a lot of tips, I've gathered my best pieces of advice in this very video. So stay tuned, and I will assume that you are of legal age to start dating in the jurisdiction you are right now. And if not, you can leave this video now, because I haven't shared anything with you really just yet. But if you are of legal age, then I've got you covered. Whether you want to start dating for the first time as an adult or haven't been dating for a while and want to restart your dating and love life again. Maybe you went through a divorce or just broke up from a long-term relationship. It doesn't matter, because I've got you covered. And I will cover 3 main things here in my video. When should I start dating if I never dated before? So this is for people who just start to date. Why should I date and why? And where should you start dating? Some tips for first advice and other things worth knowing, which is something I think all singles will appreciate. If you want to know more about them, just stay tuned and I will cover them for you in that order that I recently said. And all articles are available on my blog CairoDating.com, and if you want to know all about them, click the link in the description below to go to my blog and the article where I got this information from, to check it out. And if this is the first time that you start to date and you never dated before, then let me be the first one to welcome you to the exciting world of dating, and let me be the first to congratulate you for making a life-changing decision. I wish you a fun and safe experience, but I will share some of the ugly stuff that you might encounter, just to inform you about the least pleasant things about dating, and especially online dating. My best advice to someone who has never dated before is to stay as local as possible and limit your dating to your local area, since international dating comes with its own unique perks and challenges. You need to get some experience before you start dating people across the world. That's at least according to my personal experience, so I'm quite biased here. And if you want to know more about it, I have put a link to one of the articles where I discuss why I think dating in your local area or city or township is the best way to start dating. But there are some things that we can share here that still applies to everyone. Because first, you need to decide who you should date. Are you attracted to men, women, or both? I don't care, because it's a personal decision and it's your preferences that should guide you on who and when and where you should date. There's no right or wrong answer here, since dating is very personal, and you should date people you feel a genuine attraction to, no matter what others tell you they would do or think you should do. It's entirely up to you and shouldn't be a concern for somebody else. So why should you start dating? Well, I've already covered the who part, but why? The reason is that you want to find somebody to have a mature, grown-up relationship with. And yes, sex and intimacy should be a part of it when you feel ready for that dimension of a relationship. Remember that you should never force yourself or the other person that you're dating to do things neither of you wants. Even if both of you are adults, consent is of the essence. Let me put that in plain wording here. Consent is of the essence. And if someone tries to force you into doing something you don't want or feel uncomfortable doing, try to come up with an excuse and leave ASAP. That's one of the red flags of dating and is typical for narcissists. It's something most YouTubers won't mention or discuss. So where should you start dating? These days, most singles start their dating journey online or through an app on their phone, most likely on a phone. The first step is to sign up, which is usually free, but you might have to pay for a certain feature, such as answering messages in your inbox. There are, of course, free alternatives. Still, there are some issues you must be aware of if you are using them, and I covered them in my article, The Problem with Free Dating Sites. And if you click the link in the description below and go to the blog, you will find it in the section that says where to start dating. You will find the link to that article there. Even if it only discusses dating websites, the problem persists today and includes free dating apps. If you can't afford a subscription, please do it the old-fashioned way and date people you meet, since this will be the safest option if you don't have any money. I don't recommend free apps because there are a lot of people who are dishonest that uses them, including people who want to cheat on their partners and criminals who want to commit the so-called romance scams. So be aware of that. Indeed, you can meet some of them on paid subscription services too. Still, there are fewer of them, and the company behind the site or app has a keen interest in keeping you and everybody else safe, so they remove those fake accounts very quickly. And I've put a link to my best dating sites and apps that I highly recommend in my article that you will find in the description below. The company will have a keen interest in keeping you safe if you are a paying subscriber, because you will end your subscription if you never get out on a date with another person, or if you lose all your money and can't pay for their services, right? And that's why I highly recommend a paid service and a paid subscription rather than a free one. And it will be terrible for their business, since you will also tell your friends and family about them, and that they aren't doing what they should do, which means they will have a smaller clientele to serve. Therefore, they will be highly motivated to work with law enforcement if their service is used for fraudulent behavior to stop it. Most of the time, you must report it to your local police, who will contact the company, tell them about what happened, and request the chat logs and other details to connect it with an actual person. And I've also put a link to my video where I talk about how you can identify scammers, and that's something that I will upload quite soon here on YouTube. Now I will discuss something else that's very important. First impression is everything, and it doesn't matter if it's online or offline. When you set up your profile, if you use an app or an online service, the most important thing is your image. Use a photo of yourself that is as neutral as possible, showing your face and maybe your neck. And I've put links to some special guides for men and women in my article. And please take the time to put some information in about yourself and make your dating profile as complete as you possibly can, because doing so might reduce the risk of being contacted by love scammers and people who don't want the same kind of relationship you want. You will also increase your chances of finding people you want to date, who might share the same interests you do, and who view life in similar ways as you do. Another important thing is to tell everybody you know that you are dating and what service you use. Once you find your match, it is important to send something. A hi could work, followed by one of the proven conversion openers for men that I share in my article that you will find in the description below. Just go to the section that says the first message is important and click on that link. The first message is crucial since it will set the tone of the entire conversation. Keep things casual first and don't be afraid to ask questions. When you ask someone questions, you get to know that person better and they will hopefully answer them truthfully, and you will get a feeling whether they are honest or not by asking questions. Everything should hopefully lead to a date where you meet the person face to face. If you're a woman, it might seem daunting and out of character to be the one who takes the initiative and sends a stranger the first message. However, in texting, which this technically is, everything is allowed and you don't have to abide by old-fashioned rules. Instead, I have put some text openers for women as well, and that's the second link in the section "The first message is important," which you will find in the description that I have linked to below. Now I will share 7 important things you should know about first dates before you start dating, and this is for everyone, no matter if you're a beginner at dating or you're an experienced one. No article about how to start dating would be complete, and no video either, I should say, unless I discuss one of my favorite topics I've referenced countless times before: the first date. Chances are that you will go on more first dates with different people than any other date. And remember, a first date is just to get a feeling for the person and see whether or not you have chemistry between each other. And all the links that I talk about you will find in the article that's linked below. A first date is fun, exciting, and an enjoyable part where you feel a tingling sensation in your body intermixed with excitement, curiosity, and a bit of worry, and that's quite normal to feel that way, as relationship expert Sherry Kimball says in her article First Date Checklist, and I put a video here where I discuss her article and read from it. So you can find that information for free here on YouTube and don't have to go over to my blog. But I recommend that you watch that video before going out on a first date. Another essential thing to do before a first date is to tell someone you know and trust that you are out on a date, with whom you are dating, where you are going, and on what time, so they can check up on you after a while, just to keep you safe. And if you want to know how to date safely, I have put a link to that article, and I will probably do a YouTube video of this one quite soon as well. But anyway, that will be found otherwise in the article that I've linked to below. Now, where to go on your next first date? Coming up with places to go and visit on a first date, or even a second or third, might be challenging. You want to create a unique experience that is still exciting, and the best way is to talk about it with your potential date first. And before a date, you should hint at least in what area the two of you will be dating, and then forward the information to your friends. And maybe if it does require casual clothing, you should tell your date that when you look your best, and you might have a suit or something on. And I've linked to the video here that discusses my 10 favorite places for first dates, and they are both fun and exciting. If you don't know exactly where you are going, ask your date if you should wear formal clothing or if casual clothing will do. Nothing is worse than going out on a date feeling like you are overdressed or underdressed for the occasion. It has happened to me a couple of times myself, and I'm a man, so for me it's quite easy to underdress, but not as easy to overdress. But I know that for women it might be the opposite. Your date might not reveal everything, but tell the person that you want to look your best for them and that you won't be able to guess where you're going anyway, so you won't ruin their surprise. If you want some tips, you might read my article, what you should wear on first dates. Always try to behave your best and don't act like a brute. These are two of the most important tips I can give anyone here. You might be surprised at how often I've noticed people who forgot to treat their date as an actual human being, or situations taking a turn for the worse and becoming awkward. If you want to put your best foot forward and increase the likelihood of a person going out on other dates with you, there are certain things you must do. One of them is to follow your society's social codes and norms. Another one is to follow the best etiquette tips for men and women that I've linked in the article that I have put a link to below. Even if you're a bit nervous, you should not forget that the primary purpose of a first date is to get to know your date better and have fun. One of the best ways to get to know your date is to ask questions, as I've already covered a little bit above. Because when you ask someone questions, you will get to know that person, see whether you are a match, and then determine if you should go on another date or call it the day. Questions are great, but you also vary the conversation with other topics to avoid awkward silence when you don't know your date well. You must come up with good conversation topics to discuss. It can be hard to know them, and you will have to improvise as you go. However, a better way is to use my article, Conversation Topics for the First Date, and you will find that in the description below for a reference and get several ideas about the things you should discuss on first dates. Remember that these are only helpful suggestions and are not things you must discuss. They are not set in stone, just friendly suggestions. You can discuss whatever you want and whatever comes up naturally throughout the discussion. If you have a common interest or hobby, that's a great thing to discuss. And use your date as an opportunity to discuss your common interest or hobby. When the date is over, my best advice is to ask for a second date right there and then and say goodbye and go home. That's a great way to end your date and let that other person know that you want to get to know them better and that there is more to know about you as well. Don't reveal everything on a first date. Not sharing everything there is to know about you will increase the likelihood of getting a second date. According to dating expert Aria Green, that I've linked to here above, if you like the person you went out on a date with and want to increase your chances of getting a second date, you can do the 10 things she lists in her article. And I've also made a video, so you can watch it here on YouTube. Don't have to head over to my blog for that reason. The process will start over if you don't feel you are a good match or have a genuine connection just yet. It's not a failure if you have to start all over again. Remember, dating is a learning experience. You learn about who you want to date when you are out on the dates, and you will also learn a lot about yourself, at least according to my personal experience. So how to start dating? Let me now summarize it. Whether you are growing into the idea of start dating after a time away from the dating scene or starting to date for the first time, my article here and video shares a little bit for both of you. The reason why you will start to date are personal, and they should be. However, the process typically starts when you sign up for an app, site or subscription service and fill out your profile. Then you should start to look for people to date, and remember there is no right or wrong here. Your personal preferences will guide you on who you want to date and where you want to meet other singles. Now, I do recommend starting in your city or local area, since that offers fewer problems than international dating does. I've shared the importance of talking and keeping the conversation going before you ask a person out on a date, and I ended the article by sharing the following 7 tips. Prepare for your date and come up with a plan. Some recommendations on public places that are great to meet your date for the first time. Dressing up for the occasion. Be the best possible version of yourself. Don't forget to have fun while you get to know each other. Good things that you can discuss to get to know your date better, and leave your date, go home and prepare for a second one or start the process of getting out with a new person. Please remember that dating should be fun, exciting, a bit tingling, and it should be a bit scary too. That's perfectly normal. I have put all the links to my other articles and my guest bloggers articles as well that I've included here in the description below. Just click that link and go to the section that you want to know more about. If it's not here on YouTube yet, then do that. And if it's on YouTube, I have put links to my videos up somewhere around my head. And yes, I know it's big, but so is your decision and start dating. If you decide you weren't the excellent match you thought you were, it's not a failure, but a learning experience. It's okay if you never want to see that person again. I've shared some links throughout this article and video to give you more insights. They will help you increase your chances of getting more and better dates with people who will be better matches for you. And you will also find some other articles if you are on my blog at the end of this article. And I want to wish you all the best and wish you happy dating. This is Ricard signing off. Thanks for watching and goodbye.